Hello, Reach Your Happy community. Welcome back to another episode of Reach Your Happy with Laura. So, today I'm going to be talking about divine timing. And maybe you immediately go like, okay, yeah, things happen at perfect timing. Sure, divine intervention. I don't believe in that. Well, taking away the label of divine timing and instead thinking of it in terms of I receive what I am ready to receive when I am ready to receive it. That, you know how information comes about? You've been asking something for a while and you haven't had the breakthrough, or you haven't had the phone call come through, you haven't had the solution come about. And so you keep wondering about it, you keep maybe researching about it here and there, and you haven't stumbled upon it yet, but there's some sense of like, I'm getting closer to this realization. I'm closer than I used to be, but I'm still not fully there yet. There's this inner sense, perhaps. I'm sure you've experienced like a gut instinct. I just have a feeling about something. Maybe your child was dating someone and you're like, I just have a feeling, or I just have a feeling, and that is the opposite way. But I'm truly starting to believe with every given situation in my experience that when I am ready to receive something, an answer to something, an insight into somebody, clarity about whatever a situation may be that I've been asking for, I receive it at the right place, at the right time, in the right mind frame. Now, this may push some sort of button for you as far as like, I feel like I need to always be in the right mind frame, always be ready to receive an answer to any given thing. And that's just not realistic. We as humans have different responsibilities throughout our life. We have different moods. So we're not always in that mode to receive an answer to something. And another caveat here is that our mind often thinks, I bet this is how that answer, that solution is going to come about. And I would say 9 times out of 10, maybe that's lowballing it, but 9 times out of 10, what we think is going to happen, what we think the solution is going to be, what we think the answer is to our questions, to our problem is going to be, isn't it? And so I used this analogy the other day with a client where I was picturing this door and this person's pushing up against the door and pushing up against the door, trying the old key. The locks have been changed. That key doesn't work at that door anymore. Perhaps it's some time away from the door where you find a new way through it, or perhaps there's a completely different door that you're supposed to be walking through, and because you're so focused on trying to force yourself through this one door that has worked before and you've just lived here for a long time, that your mind thinks this is the only way through. Well, there are unlimited doors. There are unlimited opportunities for us to access solutions to the problems that we've been asking for answers to. So sometimes it takes just testing out a new door, trying a new way to find a solution, asking for help. Maybe that's a door you never open up. You just are stubborn and counter-dependent, meaning you don't rely on anyone. It's only you and only you. And to ask for help is a door that you're looking at, you know it's there, but you're like, I don't do that. So I'm just going to keep banging my head up against this door before me. And you can keep doing that, but more likely than not, you're going to keep getting the same result. So how do you step away from that door and access another route? Well, there's two ways you could go about it that I think of right now. One way is to zoom out, zoom way, 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 way out and look at the bigger picture. Okay, in 3 months from now, in 3 years from now, in 30 years from now, how will I be looking at this situation that I'm currently in? And then if that's like, oh, I can't even go. Okay, then we zoom in super close. So it's like we have really short-term solutions. We have our really focused, okay, in this next moment, what's the best next step for me? That's really small thinking. And each situation could probably use a little bit of both of those perspectives, but it's really up to you to determine what perspective feels most helpful, offers the most relief for you right now. So as far as the divine timing goes, and trusting that you get the answers to your problems just in perfect timing, right when you're ready to receive it. We have asked so many different things. Like you have asked that I want to find that career that I am so driven by, so in love with, so excited to go to work about. Or for me, a recent thing that's been up is, actually it's been about half my life. I've been wanting to be in acceptance of my body and trying this and trying that and trying this and trying that. And then what I never thought was possible to shift it happened. So I had a challenging medical situation happen over the past month or so, and that was the push, the trigger, the exact thing, the exact equation that needed to happen for me to move into, it's not even body acceptance, it's a deep acceptance of myself and understanding my personal needs and how I could better care for myself. And if you were to tell me this and like zoom out and say, maybe 2 months ago, say, all right, in about a month, you're going to experience this little scary situation. You're going to have to deal with stuff that you normally don't have to deal with. And you're going to have to reschedule all your appointments. And you're going to feel this anxiety and this fear. And a lot of your old trauma, sexual trauma is going to come up. And what that's going to equal is this deep acceptance of yourself, the whole self. If God, an angel, a polar bear came up to me and was like, hey, Laura, this is how this is going to go, I would not believe it. My own mind could not conceive that situation being true. But that has been true for me. So in the situation that I was going through, it helped me to realize what I did have by experiencing something really unwanted. When we experience variety in life outside of our normal zone of comfort or familiar, it thrusts us into the unknown, which is dark, right? As a child, I'm still a little afraid of the dark. It's the unknown. It's not mapped out for us. We don't know the way through this unknown territory, and the mind has such a challenging time. We will revert to old tendencies when we're in the unknown because our mind is attempting to keep us safe. What a gift that is. So being in this medical situation that was really challenging, and it's not even completed yet, but I'm already seeing the silver lining of it. It helped me to get to this very clear place. And I was ready to receive this answer now. I wasn't ready to receive it before I had this issue going on. But over the last 3 months or so, I was preparing myself. I was getting signals from my body, from the universe, from the world around me, that it was important for me to get care from a medical doctor. And I resisted it. I have some fear of that. And then when I finally went forth and did it, it gave me such clarity about, one, why I was resisting that, and two, that sometimes when we're resisting something, it's because it's going to thrust us out into the unknown, and it's going to force us to grow in a way that we ultimately have been asking for, but our own mind can't understand how exactly this makes sense. So when we find ourselves in situations and we're dumbfounded, it's like, what is going on here? That's usually a symptom of the mind having a challenging time understanding. But through this experience, through all the learnings that I have received, all the lessons I've received in this, I now have a deeper trust in how the forces at work, me, the people in my community, my relationship to everything is supporting me and evolving at a rate that is not always comfortable, but precisely what it needs to be for my personal development. And every single person has their own rate of development and own soul lessons to learn here. If you were to, poll your neighbors, even poll your family, we all have such unique experiences and often situations that continue to arise with different colors to it, but very similar at its core. And that's what I believe is soul lessons, and that there is a time and place for everything to arise, to exist for some time for us to work through. And before this medical stuff happened to me, I was in the best place I have ever been. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, in my business, everything. Best place I've ever been. And so when I'm at this doctor's office and I'm sitting there and I'm sweating and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is what's going on with me right now, I thought back to, just last week. I was feeling so grateful. And a part of me is like, yeah, you know what? Every time you get really up there energetically, something happens. And I used to think, oh, God doesn't want me to be happy. I'm being punished for being too happy and other people are suffering. And that's just a bunch of baloney. But it's normal to think that. And I learned that as a kid. Okay, I feel really happy. Oh no, this stuff's going on in my life. Oh no, I was too happy. I was too much. And so I played that down. So now when I'm really happy, I try to cool it down for myself. But I've resolved that to some degree. But this time it happened and I'm like, I was really happy. Shit hit the fan. Okay, what's going on here? And I have said this in session to people before because I can see it so clearly in others, but we are really blind to our own stuff, which is why we have community, why other people deliver us messages. Maybe it's not even your partner, but it's your son or your friend or your, the CVS cashier. It's like stuff comes to you exactly when you're ready to receive it from sometimes very random sources, or so it seems random. And I realize that suspension in that higher place allows me to dig deeper into my own pain, my own trauma, and unearth things that only are able to be unearthed now that I've reached this higher place energetically, this more loving, supportive, grounded, capable place. So this temporary phase of being high, I'm like, you know what? I know now that I have access to that higher place, but I know right now I'm down here in the depths. I'm clearing out things that needed to be cleared out. It is not punishment by God, by the angels, by universe, by the world, by anything. It's not punishment. It's an opportunity to heal, to peel back another layer of pain that maybe I didn't even realize, and I honestly didn't. This medical stuff I had to go through was hitting a nerve that I had hidden so far away that I didn't even know it was so active. I did not know until I knew, and I was like, okay, this is a lot to work through. And I'm still in the process of that. We're always in the process of something, we don't really like clean ourselves up and be done. We get into that higher place, we get to dig a little deeper, and then we rise up again, and then we get to dig a little deeper. And it's this constant ebbing and flowing, constant. So if you feel like life's been really coming at you, that's natural. Stuff needs to arise, be in your existence for you to process and for you to evolve. It's an opportunity, it's not punishment. I like that. An opportunity, not punishment. So it's sometimes hard to see the opportunity, and I don't suggest you go looking for it unless it actually feels like inspired, like, what could this be about? This is really wonderful. If you're just having a really hard time, it's just, okay, how do I was just going from therapy to therapy. Okay, ibuprofen, okay, heat, okay, shower, okay, walk, okay, back home, okay, nap. It was just like doing the things that were bringing me the most relief. I couldn't be in session with people. I just didn't have that capacity. But it helped me to really zone in on myself, and I find purpose, I find meaning in everything. And to not be in the space to do that was a bit challenging, but also gave me a lot of understanding of other people in their stuff, why they're not looking on the sunny side, why they're not trying to find the silver lining, because sometimes you truly cannot. And giving myself space to not look for it and just be in it. And I had to be really communicative to my husband, because he wants to help, right? And I needed to communicate what I needed, and there was just so much growth. So, to say this is bad timing, or I wasn't ready for this, or any other things that we put out there when we're experiencing something challenging, we feel the disconnect, the discomfort in that, because that's to say there's something wrong with how life is happening to you. Instead, it's really, this is happening for me and it's challenging me, but there is going to be an opportunity for healing, for growth, for my personal evolution in this. I just can't quite see it yet. So in the meantime, I'm going to be really good to myself. I'm going to notice what's arising in this pain, give it some space, connect with a community, or maybe you're really introverted and you don't like doing that. It's just deciding in each moment, keeping your world very small for this next moment, what is most important to me. And honestly, what really got me through this tougher period was focusing on nourishment, food. So I track my food, my macros, and I let everything go as far as carbs and fat, and I just focused on the protein. I'm like, protein are building blocks. If I can hit my protein goal, that's gonna be my focus. That's all I focused on. I didn't focus on social media. I didn't focus on content. I didn't focus on anything. I would listen to my body. Does walking feel good? Yeah, it does feel good. And then I'd get, a block down and be like, hey, no, I'm so tired. Like, I can't even do this. And then I started to shift the narrative of like, I'm going to see what I'm capable of, and I'm going to self-regulate. I'm going to keep seeing, I'm going to keep checking in. But the one constant, the one thing I'm definitely going to narrow my focus in on is getting my protein in. And so that's something so small, but it was so significant. It was so important for me to focus in on one thing that I knew was good for me and helpful for my body, helpful for my goals of gaining muscle mass. And I've, past situations, regret is such, this is a totally different topic. I'm going to make another video, legit, like in 2 minutes, about regret and what a gift that is. Yeah. All right. I hope this message served you well. I know that's an abrupt shift, but yeah, I think this message is complete. So the next time you're wondering, why am I here? Why am I in this accident? What's going on? Everything happens for you in perfect timing. You receive what you're ready to receive when you're ready to receive it, not a moment sooner. So when you're stuck in traffic and you're late for an appointment, you're looking for a parking spot and you just can't find it, you're going to miss your reservation, just reminding yourself in those little ways, because it'll matter in bigger ways at a different point in your life, that things are working out for me in ways that I cannot see, but I must trust, because Right now, it is what is it. It is what it is. What am I going to do about it? It is what it is, and it's okay. Alrighty, thank you for tuning in. I love you so much. Thank you for showing up here for me today, for everyone in this community showing up and listening along with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take good care, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.